And here we are on Frost. Game number 2 between these two players spawning in the northeast position as the purple Zerg player from Team Samsung Galaxy Con. It is Solar. He's up against this player who's on the ropes of getting knocked to the losers match to face off against Baby Knight. From Team Millennium, it is Dayshi. So, Dayshi, not able to... He went for a very, very straight-up macro-focused build in the last map. And, honestly, Solar just kind of pushed him over. If Dayshi has any kind of weird strategies or anything, maybe special that he's been working on or saving up, I think this would be a pretty good time to bust it out. Mostly because if he loses this game, he plays a TVP, so he doesn't put himself at risk of revealing any more strategies, except, I guess if he won the match, then, you know, he would have to play against Curious, but I think he'd rather get to that match first. But we'll see. We'll see what he's going to do. It looks like Command Center first again, and Solar, Hatchery first. Yeah, he's got his SCV here. Command Center on the way. And Solar will get a very fast read on this. So he can actually go double hatchery before spawning pool. He sees the Command Center on the way. And I don't think he actually saw the Overlord. It's always funny to look at units with how long their vision radius are. Or vision radii are. Like the Mothership Core just has so much vision. Even a Mothership Core could see an Overlord and the Overlord wouldn't see it. Is how far its vision radius is. It's pretty crazy. The SCV does see the Overlord though, so he should know. Okay, you're in the northeast. Okay, starts his gas up. He's getting a very normal setup. And there's the gas before pool. So Solar, he feels totally comfortable just doing what I'd say is probably one of the ultimate Zerg openings. If you can get away with double hatchery, then gas, then spawning pool in a Zerg versus Terran, this is probably one of the best openings you can do. Just because you get so much access to larva, very fast speed, so the Terran player feels threatened, and you have, I mean, I don't know, you're just set up really good with your tech, and you have map control while still having really good economic options. So, Solar's poised his Overlords to go in for later scouts by the Christmas tree, holiday tree, whatever you guys like to call it. But Dayshi, he has gotten a good read on his opponent. The spawning pool timing is pretty indicative of a double hatchery before pool, but he may not know that 100%. At the very least, he knows he was scouted going Command Center first, so there's things you can anticipate. He's actually going to try to catch this Overlord out in the center of the map, and he might be able to get this. He might have to go to the other side to kill it, because he will send the second Marine out, but this would be a nice grab. This early on, an Overlord kill is actually pretty significant. It's very close, and he does get it without having to move across the ramp. That's very, very nice. He doesn't have to move his Marines too far away from his base. The factory is coming in as well as the reactor. And speed is being researched. No further gas being mined, though. So this doesn't look like it's going to be anything weird, like a very fast Baneling attack. He just has the option to try to make a lot of Zerglings. I don't think it's very good to do mass Zergling-based plays on this map just because of how easy it is to wall off the natural choke. But the Hellion production begins. Third Command Center's on the way. So Dayshi is going to do the same thing as the last game, it seems. I wonder if he'll only make 4 Hellions again. Would be kind of interesting to see. The Overlord kind of sees what's going on. This tech lab. Double engineering bay, though, much faster for Dayshi this time around. I kind of think he's been like, well, I don't want to get my E-bays later than your evolution chambers, and the evolution chambers actually have not even started yet for Solar. So Dayshi should have a pretty reasonable upgrade advantage. He has his upgrades already begun. No Evo chambers yet for Solar. He is producing a couple Zerglings. Might be afraid of the Hellion harass. But we'll see. He's still droning up very heavily. So it's hard to say. No, it's one of the most difficult things I think about playing Zerg is balancing your larva expenditures. As far as, do I make drones, do I make Zerglings? And he has just enough Zerglings to keep the Hellions away for now. More of them do come across. And he's actually going up to his standard 6 Hellions. It's only interesting because he went for just 4 Hellions on Whirlwind. He had a bit of a different build. I like this build more, just because if you're going to be greedy and go 3 command centers, you might as well go double engineering bays. And he's getting some good hits off on these Zerglings. One of the Hellions might get caught. His Queen's trying to place a creep tumor. Very nice hit, actually, on those Zerglings. And 2 more Hellions do arrive, but ooh, immediately getting caught. And there's 3 Queens here, so Dayshi will be forced to head home, or at least elsewhere on the map. The armory is already starting, so this is going to be a very quick 2-2 for Dayshi. His upgrades, he's about 120 seconds in, so he's about a whole minute lead on the upgrades against Solar, which is really the only thing that I can it's really the only thing I can comment on in this game so far. The Bailey Nest is on the way, and Starport's coming in with 2 additional barracks, more gas for Dayshi. Oh, Hellions get surrounded. Not good. Loses his 2-3 Hellions, actually. The 4th one will try to escape. But, ooh, 2 more hits. And that is a goner. Gets the Hellion. Very nice pickup for Solar. And a few Marine Stim running away. The 3rd command center is going to be landed. But there are enough Zerglings on the map. I don't really know if he can just take this just yet. These Marines, they will die. Horrible, painful deaths. And the 3rd base lands. Like I said, he immediately is just like, no. And starts Burrow at the same time. No, cancels it. Okay, getting a Spire instead. And pneumaticized Carapace. That's the Overlord speed. 2-2 is on the way. Still maintaining a pretty nice upgrade lead. He has a 1-1 advantage for about 10 more seconds, but it was nice. And the Overlord immediately pooping creep. That's annoying, but it wasn't there long enough to actually be a problem. Combat shield's going to complete in a few seconds. He actually just shot his own command center, I think. I don't know. That was pretty whatever. The Spire is about halfway done. 3rd base is being taken very far away. That is, I feel like it's slightly atypical. It's a bit easier to attack this base if you want it as a, as a 4th base. But yeah, I guess he just doesn't want it to be that easy to be dropped or pushed. So Banelings are on the production tab now. He's just getting a bit more normal setup. Solar's got a lot of creep tumors on the map. A lot of active tumors. He's been using this Heavy Queen setup pretty proficiently, I'd say. But one thing to note is that Dayshi has not had anywhere near as much trouble getting his 3rd base landed as he did in the last game. While there are Zerglings looking to do harass, it's not as much of a problem anymore. Since he's getting a bunker here as well. And smartly, Dayshi just put the Marines in. All is well. And the Marines are at the edge of the creep. Kills 1 building tumor. Love to see a scan. There's the scan. Trying to delay that creep spread. The Banelings are here. He can still lift up. It can be difficult to clear up creep, but oh, he's stepping back now. He's rallying down the map. The Widow Mines have burrowed, and actually a really nice shot from one of them. The second one not doing quite as much. Dayshi will be forced to head home, at least for now, as he's just waiting for his Marines to ball up a little bit. The 4th base is complete. Solar saturating that, getting lots of drones on the gas as well. So his Mutalisk production is looking good, but Solar is still headed towards that hive at what I feel like is a fast time. It's difficult to pull off properly, but he's doing it. And these Zerglings, engaging off creep is difficult to do. There's a lot of medevacs. Wow, great Widowmine shot actually on those Mutalisks. But the spread on the Marines is too good for these Banelings. And I kind of feel like as long as you always keep some Marines left over after the fight, you're in a decent spot as a Terran. He's down on supply, but He's got a ton of biome production. He has a great infrastructure setup. 3-3 is on the way. And that hive is just starting. So there will be an upgrade timing advantage, even more so than before for Dayshi, where he just has a natural lead on the upgrades. Solar, on the other hand, he has the 2-2. He's getting +1 for the Mutalisks. Actually, it's just finishing now as we speak. And he's going to take a 5th base in the top left corner. So expanding away from his opponent as much as he can. Needs to watch out. The Banelings taking actually no Widowmine detonations there. So he's just using the Zerglings, getting surrounds, and he's killing everything that Dayshi has. He might be able to just snowball this right back towards his base. Dayshi's taking a lot of heat. He may be overextended onto that creep point, as he's got basically no army. He's lost quite a bit. Now, there are 86 drones, so the supply for Solar, he's trading army, but his supply is higher partially because he has a lead about 20 drones. So it's kind of weird just looking at it. But with that extra economy, he can replace whatever he loses so quickly. And the creep is moving out. The only thing that sometimes a 4th base here helps with that isn't really coming into play this game is that creep spread. Being able to go a bit faster out from the 4th base area. But now the Mutas coming in to attack this natural expansion of Dayshi. The missile turret wasn't done quite yet. And there's not even that many Mutalisks on the map. Just 18. You need, like, I think it's 24 or something to start one-shotting missile turrets. Which means that, I mean, once the defense is set up, it won't be that easy to attack. Dayshi does have some Widowmines waiting. 2 Widowmines not quite enough to actually kill all these Mutas, but it will do a lot of damage. And he just delays the missile turret again and flies away. This is actually really annoying to deal with. But here's a huge setup. Tons of Zerglings and Banelings are just waiting at the edge of this creep, and it's getting very close to where Dayshi wants to put his 4th. The Zerglings are just going to move in. There's lots of Banelings behind this. The Widowmines will burrow. No detonations, actually, on the Widowmines. And the Banelings are kind of by themselves, though. All the Zerglings have been cleaned up. Dayshi gets a pretty good trade. Most of his bio is still alive. Those Banelings did absolutely nothing for Solar. And now Dayshi has that 3-3. That 3-3 is so damn good. And what a powerful contributing factor to these fights it is. Scanning, picking off the creep tumors. This is what you need to do as a Terran player. The Banelings will be able to finish here on the creep, but it is going to be so difficult. All he needs to do is just spread the bio. There's not that many Zerglings to deal with. He's actually getting close to overstimming these forces, but being very smart, continuing to scan. He's actually cleaned up most of the creep on the right center area. There's still a few tumors active. But he also splits off a huge battalion to attack the northwest. And there's, well, I mean, the Zerglings and Banelings are waiting here with the Mutalisks. He doesn't have his other army doing much of anything. Might be coming in to try and catch this with the reinforcements. Scans for creep, but, well, there's Banelings here, buddy. Dayshi keeps a great spread, actually, on the Marines. Most of the Banelings have been killed, and now these Marines can continue to just press on through. There's a few more Banelings, maybe one last Baneling attack, but Dayshi is looking so sharp now. Moving over towards his base, more and more Zerglings in production. 3-3 is coming in for Solar, but it's not done yet. He still needs by himself another minute or so of time. And this 4th, if he can pick up this 4th base, that would be absolutely huge. The Banelings are trying to chase down these Marines, but Concussive Shell, surprisingly effective versus these Banelings. And Dayshi does not look like he'll be stopped. Solar's throwing absolutely everything that he has at him. These Marines are so weak. He only needs a few Banelings to connect, but none of them are really able to get those big spread out shots. And he's still attacking. He still has medevacs, and he's just rallying Marines here until the end of time. Dayshi, I think, might be able to break Solar at this 4th base. More Zerglings are continuing to come across, but the Marines, with the upgrade advantage, are just too much for now. He still hasn't killed the 4th base, though, but yeah, Solar says, I just can't keep up. GG. And Dayshi ties the series up 1-1 against our Kespa Zerg player. Nice.